People will ask me when I'm walking the cup, why do I leave the rod attached like that when I move to my next? Well, that's main reason is if you lift the rod out of the purging gas, it'll get oxidized, whatever you want to call it. And if you leave it in like this, the argon just continues to purge the end, so it doesn't get that, and it'll just be cleaner. Okay, whenever you're coming to the end where you're tying in, you know how we're welding like this. Oh, let me get it where y'all can see. We're welding like this right here, right? Alright, when you come to the end, wiggle out of it just like that. Just give it a quick little, and it'll turn out looking like that, and it'll tie in really neat, and no suck holes or anything like that. Now for my next pass, you see where my tie-in was right here? I'll actually stagger them. I'll start in the middle of this weld, go this way. Now for walking the cup, like tracking the cup, you just do this number right here. Alright, see how contaminated, oxidized that looks on the end when I actually had to lift the wire because I finished the weld, so I didn't leave it attached. What you can do for that, if you're really concerned about it, is you can either clip it off with a wire cutters, or hit it with a wire brush, knock that oxidation off of it, you'll be just fine. Now, having said that, back to the walking the cup. Now, on a fitment like this right here, you're basically just letting the walls walk it. It's just basically a wall thing. But when it gets built up so tall, you're going to have to do like I showed you a while ago, where you're walking the cup. And that's what your second pass will look like. Now when you're doing this, remember to keep your thumb rolling this rod. Roll it up, because at these angles it will try to come to the bottom of the plate just by physics. So keep a little pressure, put a little bend in that rod, and put your thumb and keep it rolling up the weld, and it'll keep it in the center. Now this is carbon steel. Now stainless steel is even funner because it flows even better, and it's got all those pretty pinks and purples and blues and everything. This stuff, you really got to have your hand in it to get this stuff to look right. But it's still fun too. But stainless is, man, you want to talk about beautiful. Now when I start a new weld, I start a little bit behind. Ow, that's hot. That's what Paris Hilton said. I start a little bit behind where my previous weld ended. Now I'll let that cool down to the touch before starting my next weld. Okay, so this next weld will be trickier, because when you lay the rod in here this time, your cup is actually going to be up on top of the metal. It's not going to be on the sidewalls here and here. So what you're going to try to do, you're going to try to walk that cup on top of this metal that you've laid down, which it's not there right now, so you don't see it. But on the next weld, it will be as soon as you climb up on top of it. But what it's going to try to do is it's going to try to kick you to this wall and to that wall. So you got to keep that, watch that tungsten tip, and keep it angled in the same direction the whole time to keep combating that. Okay, so you see, now is where you got to start walking it. Now that this cup is on top of that weld there, you're actually going to have to start walking the cup instead of using the sidewalls.